Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is, of course, time for the midweek line battle. And as you can see here, the 33rd in all their glory, as you can see, all set up and making their way through this fine desert map. Over here we have the 5E Hussars. There's Brigadier Raven. Hussars even. It's been one of those days. Cavalryman Dante, fresh from the 9 circles of hell. So you can see now the 33rd moving over along with the 33rd skirmishers in, and let's see who's what. So it's Russia versus United Kingdom. We have the 1T Guard of 5E, the 33rd, and yeah, the 5E, the Hussars in there as well. And for the United Kingdom, we have the 42nd, 17E, the 2 DEC, or the 2 DEK, 42nd, already mentioned them, the 54E, of course, and we are off and running. As you can see, fire coming in as the two lines are now meeting up. As you can see here, the skirmishers making their attentions known. There's 2 sets of skirmishers fighting against each other. As you can see, numbers of the 33E, or the 33rd even. God, it's just, oh God, my brain's just completely fried. So you can see them. Oh no, Fudge Packer Attacker has been taken down by Burnt Toast. Burnt Toast is a killer. So you can see now the line moving our way under the command. There is, of course, the captain, Mr. Stefan, and the leader of the line, Colonel Leonidas. So now you can see them retreating. A little bit of fire on the rearward guys there. Nice fire coming in from the 42nd. And the 42nd, well, the 33rd replying. Mekol turning round, taking a pot shot and killing a member of the 42nd. So there you go. The 42nd now moving out. And we are looking over here at the 54E, Adjutant Phil, also in there. And various other people. So, there is Walking Skull. Roaring Skull, okay. And this looks like a drummer at the back, Mr. Batty Dick. Invitational to the 17E. So you can now see Colonel Arthur Freant lining up as you've got a bunch of the Black Watch charging hardcore into a number of the Russians. Look at this, into the 33rd. There has been firing on the charge. It is allowed on this particular game. So you can see now it's all kicking off. The Scots are going in there, as you can see, doing their thing. There's the 42nd. There's Rezag, unfortunately, comes a cropper to the bayonets of the Russian forces. And there is somebody else who seems to have disappeared. I think it's fair to say pretty much most of the Scots have been wiped out. Oh, there's a few left remaining, including what was a commanding officer. The curse of the commentator strikes again. But the Dragoons are in there, trying to offer what support they can. Not much in his case, unfortunately. Invitational Connor taken down by Ian Baptiste Bartels. You can see them all having their little dozy-do. Oh, look at that. One of these skirmishers barged to the floor by a horse. Kubi there, trying to do his best to defend himself against combinations of hussars and all sorts of other people. That is, of course, the nutty pig who was just taken down by a saber slice from one of the hussars. And here we go. Here's Bartels in there, looking for an enemy to slice down with his mighty saber. And that was pretty much it. Over. Blimey, that was pretty quick, I have to say. And we are on to the second round. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Okay. The 54E setting up with Adjutant Phil. And of course the 2nd Queen's Colonel Musil, complete with his head-banging troops at the rear, Prince of Blue and Prince of Orange. They must be related. And there's probably going to be a Prince of White and a Prince of Pink in there as well. So there's, from the 2nd Queen's Regiment there, there's Private Imperator. And of course the 54E. So the Brits turned out to be very aggressive, charging in awfully quickly. There's Jampad in there as well. There's Heisenberg, looking uncertain. Good on you if you get that one. Let's see, there's Janitor, Michael Ney, Darian, Cadet Thomas, Cadet Gandalf, Francais, Angus D, Lewis Butternubs, God what a name, and Black at the back. Oh, a few more left. McPerrow, Corporal Mason, and Captain Will at the rear. Now, it looks like a nice kill there from the Iron Lady 54E onto Fudge Packer Attacker, who's not having much luck this round either. He literally died, one of the first people to die in the first round, and one of the first people to die in the second round. So, a tad unfortunate. Never mind, as the Brits are now moving in very, very aggressively onto this massive line of Russians. Look at this. Huge numbers of Russians here. Leonidas taken down by a bullet already. That's insane. Just masses and masses of stabbing goings on. As more of the English forces are moving in, you've also now got the Russian forces moving in to assist with the melee, but you've still got over here on the left-hand side more British forces, the 17E and the 54E taking more people down. The Prince of Orange taking down Recruit Michael from the 33rd. So you can see in the middle here, it's difficult to say who's actually winning. I don't know, I think it's fair to say that the Russians have the advantage at the moment. There's Bob Malog from the 33rd. He is looking to defend himself. Now the problem is these guys aren't really designed for melee defense. So you can see here Darian. Oh, very unfortunate. Taken down. As there we go. Looks like a bit of stabby going on. Here we go. As Prince of Orange there. And Charles Ox moving in to try and take out some of these skirmishers. So these skirmishers like Snooch, they've only got these little... They're not so much swords as they are toothpicks to try and defend themselves. And as you can see, those guys are really designed for fighting at range. And they didn't really have much of a chance. So, there we go. Here are the 2-deck. Looking wonderful. Oh, wonderful slice by Sir Deckers there. Fantastic. Absolutely stonking. Nice slice into one of the Hussars. He's got to watch his back. Doubling back to try and get out of the way. And you can see here lots of slicing and dicing going on. There we go. One of the Hussars is down. Joylan taken down by MacLeod. And you can see Imperator in there as well with his bayonet trying to deal with what remains of the Hussars. And down he goes. Wow, that was a round over quite quickly. And we'll move on to the next one. And so, it is the third round. Now, obviously, no cannons to set up, none of that kind of stuff. Here is Colonel Crunk from the 5E. And let's see. This is the Russian spawn. The team's getting ready to set up, move out. As you can see, the 1T guard under the command of Major McCrow already moving out. The Hussars galloping off. These fine fellows are, of course, the 33rd. And over on the other side, the skirmishers led by Major Bob Malog. And a lone soldier at the rear. Mr. Gravy, who appears to have gone AFK for a toilet break, probably. So there, of course, is Mr. Stefan. And now the skirmishers are moving out and looking for the enemy. You can see the Hussars over the far side. Let's see. Where are the Brits? They've got to be around here somewhere. Aha. We have spied the United Kingdom. Oh dear. That didn't go well. Poor old Lucianus there. Taken down, as now the skirmishers shooting at long range at the British forces, who are now moving over to the right hand side. Looks like they're trying to deal with those hussars. Now the dragoons are covering that flank for the British forces, as you can see. So here of course is Colonel Musil from the 2nd Queens, the 17E. There's of course young Mr. Dick. Ah, oh dear, poor old Bob Malog taken down already. There's Jampad in there doing his drumming skill. And poor old Bob Malog, poor lad, taken down already. Fine shot from the Iron Lady. So you can see here, there of course is Mr. Pig, the unstable oinker himself. And there's Nubas 13. And there of course is the Iron Lady. And we're just waiting to see what happens. So you can see them trading fire at the moment, really. You've also then got a section of the Russian forces. They decided to move over, pull back slightly from the left-hand flank. And I think they were playing a waiting game, because previously they moved forward, got caught out of position. And that was where the problem lied. So there we go, Lance Corporal Protagonist taken down. Whoops-a-daisy. The lines are kind of in front of each other. So let's see. Let's move up onto the hill where the skirmishers are located, firing back at the British forces. And let's see what's going on with this line. Whoops-a-daisy. As it looks like the 5E Hussars have run into the Deckers. Let's see. Over there. There we go. So here is the 5E. They're in there trying to deal with... Oh, poor O'Connor taken down by the 2 DK. Carolus Rex there with a nice kill. Good to see that the dragoons are in there trying to do their thing. Oh, look out. Oh, that was very unlucky. There's Hertog Jan. But he managed to get a kill onto Dante. So numbers not looking great at the moment. Let's see what's going on. The 5E Hussars are suffering. Oh, and indeed is Hertog Jan. He's now lost his horse. So he is going to have to try and defend himself when he's busy. Stop chewing on that flower. So as we look over to the right hand side, stuck in some kind of hellish dozy-do. Oh, look at that. Poor MacLeod going for the horse. And he is sliced down with a sabre slice across the back. From, of course, the Colonel Crank himself, leader of Hussars for this evening. And unfortunately, the lone survivor of the Hussars, trying to deal with multiple members after him. So let's see what Colonel Crunk decides to do. There we go, slices with one of his enemy's horse, trying to dehorse him if he can. Goes for another slice there. Let's see what he decides to go for. Trying to position himself to try and get a little bit of a slice on one of those horses. Take them down a little bit maybe. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Let's see what Colonel Crunk decides to do. Goes in possibly for a stab. Nope, missed his opportunity. So let's move over to the 33rd. Whoops-a-daisy. Snoken there taking a bullet from Alexandre Marmon, no less. So you can now see these guys moving back. The 42nd now moving up onto the hill on the right-hand side. However, they are going to run into a great big huge blob of Russians. Another section of the 33rd here. Now the thing is, these guys could leave themselves in a really nasty position as Bartels takes down Colonel Crunk. So it looks like the Hussars are now finished. And the trouble is that these guys here, the 42nd, Davy the Dumb there, moving in, and the trouble is they've now got Russians behind them, but the 33rd are fighting back. Holy crap, these guys are doing really well, taking down a huge amount of the 42nd. And now you also have coming in the 2nd QR to join them in the mass melee, with more Russians moving in to assist against the 42nd. So you can see, oh dear, poor old Emo Rocker's just been team killed. He's going to be crying about that. And there's Michael Ney, of course. No doubt I was about to say an ancestor of the great French general, but not anymore, he's not. So you can see here Recruit Axeheart in there trying to deal with the enemy. There's Jem Wonka has just been taken down from the 1T guard. And the last remaining member here. Nope, it looks like the Russians are still surviving intact. And you can see the skirmishers are moving away to do what they do best, which is fire from a distance. The Nutty Pig gets taken down. Nubas fighting for his life. Nubas 13. Nice stab there by Nubas as he's going in, as he is trying to deal with a nasty Russian who is fighting him. And he goes in with a little bit of a saber slice, see if he can actually do some damage. Wasn't enjoying his bayonet, obviously. Oh, nice block there by Nubas. He's now trying to deal with multiple people, and he is being attacked multiple locations, doing a fantastic job of defending himself. So here we go. We're watching Nubas as he's now... Oh, nice stab into Wonka. So Nubas now trying to avoid the bullets. Going to try and do a little bit of a slice here. As we're looking at Nubas, last man standing maybe. Let's see. No, there's 6 Brits still remaining. Oh, lovely saber slice by Nubas. And he's finally taken down by Sean Dashaf. So, remaining members of the British forces. Looks to be Dragoons. And you can see here, fine fellows, to a man. Well, but not anymore. So there we go. Hertog Jan just got slain. And we're looking at Jeffrey Dutch doing his best to defend himself. He then gets taken down. And here we go. Invitational Batty Dick, who then gets frozen in position. So, there we go. One stab. He's trying to defend himself against that saber, with lots of Russian reinforcements arriving shortly thereafter. So, he's a drummer. He's not really designed... Oh, and he goes in for a nice stab and kick combo, but unfortunately gets stabbed. That's very unfortunate. So we move on to one more round on this map. And so we're back. And we're watching Sherlock Cat. Okay. And the 5th E Hussars, or the 5E Hussars, I should say. Colonel Crunk, yes. Fine moustache and beard on the Crunk. The Crunkmeister himself. So let's see as the Russians make their way up the sand dunes. And let's see. Mr. Stefan leading the 33rd line out. Now, let's move across the desert and see what we see on the opposing side. The United Kingdom forces coming out of their spawn. Aha, look at this. These guys are smiled upon by the two-dimensional bird. Good evening. And you can now see them getting set up. So you can see Recruit Davis. Look on the hill. You can just about see their enemy firing back at them. So let's see. 54. The Grenadiers. There's Roaring Skull in there as well. Of course, there is the Mad Oinker himself. And, oh dear. So, There's a Stefan. Another Stefan. How many Stefans do we have? God, they're bloody everywhere. So these Baker riflemen here. Oh, taking a few shots. That's Kieran, I think. And Nozza as well. Returning fire. The 17E have just lost Charles Orks. And there he is there. Poor old Chuck. He's not happy. Bit of conspicuous drumming going on by Jampad again. Brave man drumming while under fire. So you've got the skirmishers here in the middle. You've now got the Black Watch moving up on the right hand side to protect the right flank. The left flank is moving out as far left as they can, and it looks like the skirmishers are breaking and possibly moving with the right flank. We'll have to wait and see. So the Russian Hussars over the far side there. The British Dragoons are somewhere around. So here, of course, are the 5E. Making their way out. Still don't understand why they'd wear a jacket over the top there. But it just makes little sense. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's probably either a fashion statement. Oh my God, look at that face. On Grenadier. Oh no, poor old Corporal Nubas has just taken a shot here from Uzaru. So we're looking at the 33rd line. And of course the skirmishers under the command, of course, Mr. Bobolog. So you can see, oh, bullets bouncing around these guys. So obviously checking to see what's going on around them. They have this line to cover their left flank. The fine 1TE guard. Brave men to a man. And obviously backed up on the flank by the 5E. So over here there is Mr. Stefan, but over here there's some more Brits. Oh, look at that lovely fire coming in. Prince of Blue taking down Anakura. Now they're moving in, but they're looking... Oh, one shot fired there. Takes down Tillian. And they're now charging in. Oh, a bit of firing going on there. A couple of members of the Queen's Regiment taken down. And the protagonist, unfortunately, gets team killed. So we'll just have to wait and see as poor old Prince of Blue gets taken out. As you've got this guy here. Cadet Mestaris? Good God. Oh no, the Fudge Packer attacker has been taken out. And of course, unfortunately, the cadet for the Queen's Regiment has also suffered. So we'll have to wait and see. So there's Latincon. Das Schaff for the 1TE guard. These guys... Oh, there we go. The 5E are now in the battle. As you can see, they've gone after the Baker riflemen, the skirmishers. Oh, goodness me. Look at them. They're slaughtering the 54E skirmishers. That's really nasty. That's not good for them. Let's see if we can find the rest of them. So see plenty of clippity-clops about the area. So this is what remains of the 5E Hussars. I think that can be regarded as a successful foray, as the 33rd are now returning fire against the 17E. Batman has been taken down, unfortunately. Poor old Batman. And yet more of the skirmishers are firing back at the British forces. The Black Watch here on the left. And the standard line moving up on the right. So here is the 42nd. Looking for an opportunity. There, of course, is Sergeant Major Hobo Hamster, who seems to be having a bit of a twitch problem. Or a bit of a head-banging issue, it's difficult to say. But for the time being, you can see they're all moving out now. Now, let's see what they decide to do, because it might be the Brits have decided to go aggressive again. Yeah, I think that might be what it is. More fire coming into the 17E. The 17E now pushing up really hard into a mass amounts of the 33rd. Skirmishers are going to have to cheese it away pretty quickly, as they are going to have problems. Oh dear, as indeed he does. Taken out by an erstwhile bayonet, as the 5E are getting in there trying to do some damage as best they can. Well, Drakon gets taken down by Emo Rocker. And there's Leonidas and Recruit Michael from the 33rd trying to deal with a remaining Brit. I think that may have been Captain Will. Oh, Jem Wonka unfortunately taken down. Here's Carolus Rex from the 2 deck. So these guys obviously also trying to deal with the 5E Hussars. So you've got Bromhead here from the 33rd. Looks like one of the Dragoons just got dehorsed. Oh, and he then dehorses one of his opponents in response. And that was, I think, also Vince taking down the Nutty Pig up on the far hill here. So the Unstable Oinker is down. There's Corporal Vince. Now, let's see what's over here. Sherlock Cat is taken down by Deckers. So, one of the last Brits remaining there, taken down by 33rd Recruit Quick. And you can see here the 33rd resorting their forces. And let's see, how many Brits? 3 Brits remain standing. This is one of them, Legolas. And he's not standing anymore. There's another. Barge to the floor, Leonidas. Barged to the floor by McLeod. Unfortunately, his horse was taken down and he decides to surrender. However, there will be no surrender, as another player runs him through. And we move on to the next round after a map change. And we return, and it is after all a map change, and we are on this fine rolling hill of a map, or many rolling hills I suppose you could say, as the 17E make their way out with Colonizator from the 2 deck looking for the enemy, as you can see. Recruit Domray. Moving out with members of the 33rd. So you can see, there we go, there's Mr. Stefan. In the lead, Colonel Leonidas moving on the second section with Bob Malog and friends moving up. My apologies. Oh, Bob Malog hitting already with a bullet. Goodness me, that's some long distance fire there from the British forces. So Bob Malog looking to move his skirmishers over to the left. As you can see, there's Schnitzel in there as well. And these guys doing pretty much what you see done quite often in this game, is they're hiding the number of the forces behind the brows of the hill to try and hide their numbers, give them an idea where they're moving to, from, etc, etc. So that's essentially the gig, as we're looking at Leonidas leading his troops out, as you can see here, with Metal Sea at the end here. And so these guys here in the middle, these skirmishers, using their long distance rifle goodness. There's Lucy C, or Lucy Z, Mekol, more Mekol. There's Snooch, see, nice fire there from Private Kentrix, Takashi, Kentrix there, Anadil, and Corporal Vince. So these guys are using the advanced range of their rifles to try and pick off numbers and at least provide a bit of a distraction, to take their minds, the enemy's mind, away from these guys who will be sneaking around behind them. Oh, lovely shot with Prince of Orange there into Emo Rocker. Let's see if we can find out where that's going on. There's the Iron Lady, as we've got more fire being traded. Looks like number here of the 33rd, I think that was. Yes, indeed. There we go. Fire lull. Lance Corporal making his way away from the battlefield, as it looks like they lost a number of the 33rd there. So the hill being well defended by the UK forces here. You can see them up on the top of the brow of the hill. There's Fondas. There's Nubas 13, of course. The insane Oinker himself. And Commanding Officer Adjutant Phil. There's Sexy Hoffe. And there's another Stefan. There's Amos, Maxo, and Seobs at the end. Fusilier Seobs, no less. So. And there is the Iron Lady. Looking somewhat constipated, I have to say, but never mind. So now you can see here that they're trading fire with the enemy, but the enemy has moved back slightly. So here is the 1st T-Guard, a completely separate section and regiment from what was attacking them previously. Oh dear! The insane Oinker has been assassinated. You can see, there's insane Oinker. He is no more. And here is the 2nd Queen's Regiment. Looking as neat as always. Colonel Musil in there. Oh no, poor old Nubas has caught a bullet from Musician or Musketeer Bob, I think it is. So let's see if we can find out what's going on here. Are the fine Dragoons. Looking resplendent as always. Let's see if we can find what's going on. So here is a nice line of the 33rd. And we're just waiting to see what they're going to decide to do. Because it looks like they're hiding their numbers over here on the right hand side. And may move slowly up to the top of the hill. The skirmishers also remain over here. Supported by a line of the 1T Guard. And also another section here of the 33rd. So, what happens now? At the moment, it seems to be just the skirmishers trying to pick off whatever numbers of the enemy that they can do. So you've got over here on the right-hand side, that section of the 33rd, coming under fire from the United Kingdom forces at the top of the hill here. That is the likes of the 54E. To their right, guarding their flank, is of course the 17E. Watched under the watchful eye of the two-dimensional bird. And so, you can see them trading fire. No officer aiming permitted. So, oh no, the communist potato is no more. Oh dear. So here's the 42nd now moving over. So it looks like Mr. Stefan has been taken down. So there's Text Killer or TXT Killer. And William Cooper's. Recruit Wilson's. Recruit Mooman, TSK 92, War Spiker. Komupa? I think that is. I'm not sure, but I think that's Finnish. Davies, St. George, Big Boss, Timurid, and Rezak. So those are the 42nd, the Black Watch, moving out to the left-hand side in what looks to be an outflanking manoeuvre on the sections of the 33rd. Now you can see the two deck appear to be having a battle with the Hussars, which is exactly what they are doing. Last man standing. Not standing anymore. So Colonel Crunk taken down. And it looks like they're going to try and box in one of the horses so that their teammate can get back on again. There we go. So he's now back on a horse, and the dragoons are a fighting force again. So we're moving back to the 42nd. TXT Killer looking for this opportunity. Here is the outflanking maneuver he's gone for. The problem is, will he be able to do anything with it? The range is not too bad. However, I think it's fair to say that here, Ripsy Piraka, good God, and there's Gravy in there as well, an Axe Heart, and you've now got this section of Brits moving out. However, Van Hulstein, Ensign Van Hulstein no less, does not appear to have actually seen these guys up on the hill. These guys who are up on the hill are very smart about what they're doing. Well, less so with him and him, but the general gist applies. There's Sergeant Major Hobo Hamster. And what is going to happen? Multiple members here. Musketeer Bob is taken down. The 33rd now moving back. There we go. Oh, the ambush has been sprung. And the 33rd now trying to move back into some form so that they can return fire against it. But the ambushers have now moved back behind the hill. So it was a quick pop out, take a few shots, pop back in again. Good play by the ambushing troops over here. So, smart play by the 42nd and their commander, Lieutenant Text Killer. So, these guys coming in for what will be the revenge. Watching Sergeant Henk from the 33rd moving in. There we go, they're moving in. It looks like the enemy is now moving out. Possible charge situation. Yeah, bit of firing going on. Oh, Dasher 54 gets taken down. And it's Russian on Scottish accent. Complete with Kifs, who seems to be thinking, I've got no one to stab. Who do I stab? And the answer is nobody, because they're all dead. So the 33rd section now taken down. And you can see Text Killer there reforming his people. But no, a nice ambush by another section of the 33rd. There's Private Axe Heart, unfortunately, being taken down. And so now the 42nd are under a lot of pressure. As you can see, there's Firelol in there, having a battle with one of the Scotsmen. And let's see how he gets on as we're watching him. Oh, nice stab by Firelol there. Let's see, that was Firelol into Wilson's. And you can have a look here. Even a few skirmishers in there with a bit of a rifle butt. So last man standing, and the Brits have been isolated and taken down by that attack. Now, this is going to be interesting because here come the Dragoons. Against forces who are not really designed against cavalry, this could get very messy. Oh, fire into Adjutant Phil from the 54E. Major McCrow taking him down, and in come Colonizator from the Dragoons against a bunch of pretty much mostly skirmishers. Now, these guys have decided to play it smart. They've decided to pull out the guns and the bayonets of their friends and everyone around them. And there's Recruit McLeod backing off from his horse, which was recently taken down. These guys, under the attack of the Dragoons, as you can see, doing their best to defend. But you've also now got another section of this, another section of the Russians now being jumped by yet another section of the Brits with more reinforcements in behind them. Bob Malog gets taken down in the middle of the battle. These guys doing their best to try and defend themselves, but they are not going to win because of numbers. It's going to have to be a certain amount of luck involved for these guys. The 2nd Queen's Regiment there. Imperator taking down what remains of the enemy. And this could be the last man standing. Kentrix. There we go. That has been it for that round. And we're on to the next one. And we return. And Leonidas crashes. Very unfortunate. So what we're looking at now is the last round on this particular map. 2 rounds on this map, and they had quite a few rounds. I think it was 4 on the other map, as it turned out to be some quick rounds going on there, with a pretty bit of... I've got to stop saying there. What's going on? What is going on there? I say it way too much. Anyway. As you can see, fire coming in from a section of the United Kingdom forces. The mighty 17E. With Arthur Freant and a face that is abhorrent to nature. Look at that. Good God. Yay for drummers. Good old Jampad in there doing his drumming thing. Musicians do not get a lot of love in the Napoleonic Wars, that's for damn sure. So, oh, look at that ripple fire coming in from the enemy. As Sir Henk there. There again, God. So Henk catching a bullet, so let's see what's going on. That's Corporal Stefan. And let's see. Major Nozzer from the 50... Oh, good God, look at that. Looks like one of the mole men from the Tick. So, Sergeant Fonders, Lay, and the 54 Fusiliers are moving in. Corporal Kieran. Corporal Stefan. And those guys are now moving away from the spawn area. Now, let's see what options they have in front of them. You can now see what appears to be a long line of them Russians making their way out. Now, there's a good chance that that could be a section of the 33rd. Let's see. It is indeed just that. Followed and supported by Major Bob Malog, the skirmishers. So you can now see here fire coming in from the British forces with another line moving up very aggressively. As you can see, Freant there moving, getting... Oh, God, he's done it again. Freant now moving in, setting up the line, ready to fire back. They're moving up the hill. Are they going to form a line as soon as they get up the hill? Yep, looks like it. There we go. The fire comes in as the skirmishers now then suddenly have to back away. This could get very ugly for the skirmishers, as there are a lot of people on the other side. Oh dear, that's not good. 2 members of the skirmishers taken down. 3rd skirmisher deciding to cheese it in the opposite direction. The other skirmishers now moving back, with the likes of Lieutenant Colonel Gurkha in the area, as the Brits are moving forward very aggressively. Look at this. Look at this. This is fantastic stuff. Corporal Big Boss taken down. Now the Russians have to do something, because otherwise they are going to be in a very knotty situation. I think you've got yet more Russians up on the far side of that hill, as more fire coming in from the 42nd and the 54E. It's the 42nd and the 54E, or the 17E, they're moving in. Oh, look at this. Andre Francis running after... Oh, I wonder if they actually realise what's going on behind them. They have multiple Englishmen on their tail. Now, what is going to happen? Oh, there we go. He turns to fight and stabs Francais. Latincon with a lovely stab there, as it looks like the Deckers and the 5E Hussars are getting into a little bit of a battle. Here we are. Hussars versus... Oh, Dante. Horse has been taken down, and sabre across the chest. He is no more. And let's see if remaining members of the 5E Hussars are doing okay. Oh, God, he just lost one horse, and he then loses another horse. And Sherlock Cat then gets a sabre across the throat. Poor Sherlock Cat. And we can see here Lance Corporal Schnitzel and friends like Anadil still continuing to fire back at the enemy. Now 45 versus 23, so the Brits definitely have the advantage numbers wise, and we're just waiting to see as poor old Communist Potato is taken down by the Iron Lady. And we're watching the 17E making their way... Okay, maybe we're not watching Captain Will, but we're now watching more members of the United Kingdom forces. Making their way after the Russians. The 33rd backing off. The skirmishers following in behind them. Last man behind is Snooch. Now whether or not they're going to turn the fire, we'll have to wait and see. Look at the numbers. 21 men remaining. I think it's fair to say this is the entire army. So 13 standard line there, I'd say. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 8 or so of these skirmishers. So this is your entire section. And they are under attack by 43 of the Brits. But they have gentlemen like Sir Deckers, which will help them out. Got a fellow here, there's Baptist Bartels, unfortunately no horse for him. Oh, correction, there may be a random horse over here. Here we go, he's going off for this random horse. See if he actually manages to capture a random horse. He does, there we go, he mounts onto the horse. And they now have a small line of dragoons that would definitely help them out. As now the British forces are closing in from all directions. There's Kentrix in. Oh, he's gone for the rifle butt. And you can see, oh, look at this. Oh, Snooch gets taken down. As now it looks like the... Oh, dragoons are trying to... Oh, look at that. Bartel's taken down very quickly. So great play there. Good teamwork by the 33rd skirmishers. As you can see, one of the last remaining standing there. Doing it again. Deckers. Oh, whoopsie-daisy. He missed. And you can see Recruit Michael now also moving in. With Corporal Draken. Oh, there we go. Let's have a look. Carolus Rex taken down. Nice combination of a bayonet stab there and a few bullet shots from Colonel Draken. So Carolus is dead. And let's see what's going on over the other side. As these fine fellows, the likes of Butternubs, great name, and Fondas from the 54E are following and trying to take out what remains of the 33rd. Private Kentrix, Takashi, Metalistic, Kubi, Anadil. And as you can imagine, their organisational planning is having a bit of a problem because now they've been split up right down the middle by a double attack. Attack from the right side and an attack from the left, splitting the forces completely. Those Russians over there on the right cut off completely, and you now have the Russians on the left taken down. And that has been it, boys and girls. That, as they say, is that. We hope you've enjoyed this week's line battle, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Take care.